Hello, everybody, and welcome inside Jimmy John's Field for game number 59 of the USPBL season. The home team tonight, the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers, taking on the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. My name is James Zarnick, alongside Adam Ricker for tonight. A little bit of a rain delay start to this game, but we're going to have first pitch right underway as Randy Wynn, the starter for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers, is tossing his warm-up pitches on the mound tonight. The lineup he will be facing looks like this.
Luke Ortell is going to lead off for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers and play left field. Chris Power bats second, and he's going to be behind the plate tonight. Tyler Booth, the right fielder, will hit third. Alex Delgado will hit fourth and play third base. Cam Stewart, who homered in the game earlier today, is going to bat fifth and play second base. Zach Johnson, the DH, will bat sixth. Jamie McMillan will play first base and hit seventh. Ricky Castro, the shortstop, is batting eighth, and rounding it out for the Diamond Hoppers is the center fielder Joe Fiorino.
Outfield for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. From left to right in the outfield, you have Dave Pepe in left, Fernelli Sanchez in center. Kevin Worth gets the start in right field. Third base, Dan Kennan. Shortstop, DJ Martinez. Second base, DJ G. First baseman, Nick Wilson. Behind the plate, Ray Ortega. And on the mound for the Beavers is Randy Wynn.
Luke Ortell out of Troy, Michigan, going to step in here to face Randy Wynn and get this thing started. It was delayed for about, let's say, 25 minutes. Scheduled for 7:25 start. Getting underway at 7:51 here. And luckily the rain looks like it's going to hold off here. It looked like there was another cell that was supposed to come right around 8:30, but that's kind of dispersed right now. It looks like we should have a clear night.
First pitch at 7:51, fouled straight back to the screen by left-handed hitter Luke Ortell. Randy Wynn has made numerous amounts of starts for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers this season. One thing we notice with him is he's a very he's strike thrower. Throws a lot of strikes, 75% of the time, right around that number. First pitch strikes, as we see first pitch there. Hits the inside part of the plate for strike number 2 and quickly ahead of Luke Ortell. Nothing in 2.
Always the way you want to start off a game here, going right after that first hitter. Showing he's not afraid of Ortell kind of going inside there instead of staying on the outside part of the plate.
Absolutely. Ball 1 there on the inside part of the plate, as you said. The 1-2 pitch is a changeup low in the dirt. No offering from Ortell. These two teams played earlier this afternoon, a makeup game of last Friday night. The Eastside Diamond Hoppers came out on top of that one 9-1 as Ortell fouls the ball back and out of play on the third base side of the field.
Yeah, and with that win, the Diamond Hoppers are now at 20-18. The Beavers are in first place at 21-18. They've lost 7 games in a row now, and no pun intended here. If the Diamond Hoppers get a win here, they can leapfrog the Beavers for first place in the USPBL, which is pretty remarkable because I've been working here as the publicist and beat writer for the USPBL since the end of June, and the standings haven't changed at all, so this would be pretty interesting.
Ortell grounds it softly to the second baseman, DJ G. Completes the toss over to Nick Wilson for the first out of the game. And absolutely, the Beavers have been in control of this league almost ever since the first week of the season, where they started off 0-3. But from that point on, really took command of the lead. We're beating teams heavily, big offensive numbers, and that's just not what we've seen over the last 7 games or so from the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers.
No, which is kind of strange because Alex Bell left to go pursue a law degree, and ever since then the offense has kind of gone downhill.
Tough play there as Chris Power bounces one softly that just gets out of the reach of Randy Wynn. DJ Martinez tried to barehand it and toss it across, but Chris Power, too good of speed, beats it out for the infield single.
You know, for a catcher, not normally one of the faster positions, but Chris Power, every game he's always running hard, beating out infield hits. He did that last night too. 2 games ago, their last game, also against the Beavers. He steals bases every once in a while. Really good asset to have, especially coming from a position that doesn't normally provide a lot of speed.
Absolutely. He's found a hole in that 2 spot, and like you said, some stolen bases as Tyler Booth, the number 3 hitter, steps in and fouls the first pitch from Wynn back to the screen. The other night, Chris Power had 2 stolen bases in the game. So he has displayed the speed all season long.
Got any predictions for tonight's game, player of the game maybe, James?
Let's see as Booth hits one to Kennan. Nice backhanded play to second. One relay to first. Not going to be in time, but a fine defensive pick down there by Dan Kennan. Sliding backhanded spinning throws to second base to get power. Any predictions for tonight's game? The Beavers got to break out of this spell at some point. I think they're going to look for a strong outing from Randy Wynn, and they're going to look to the guy that's done it all season long, and that's been Nick Wilson in the middle of their order. I think Nick Wilson might have a big game for the Beavers, and it'll definitely be necessary as Alex Delgado, the third baseman for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, steps in, takes a first pitch strike right down the middle of the plate.
Delgado's average has kind of dropped off past couple of weeks. He was in the 330s just about 2 weeks ago, and now it's down to 296. Still one of the top run producers in this league. He has kind of a level swing, and he normally hits, the more runners that are on base, the better he is. He hits a lot of ground balls, but they find their way through, especially in between that third base and shortstop hole, so we'll see what he does here.
Off-speed pitch from Randy Wynn is fouled off at the plate from Alex Delgado. And absolutely, he's been a very good offensive piece for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, one of the only guys that has 2 walk-off hits in this season. We saw Chris Cruz deliver the walk-off home run. Both of Delgado's were singles, an infield single and a single that got into the outfield. But also plays a fine defensive third base, which we mentioned quite a bit on the broadcast when he's playing.
I think the last game, I think that was only the second error he made of the year.
I believe you are right. He made, and it wasn't even a big error. It was just kind of bobbled it a little bit. Randy Wynn tried to get an off-speed pitch in there in the 0-2 count. Bounces in there. Delgado laid off. Booth, the runner at first base, went into the delivery. Strike 3 called on the outside part of the plate. Delgado not happy, but the Hoppers are down in the first. We'll head to the bottom. Beavers looking to get an early lead here at Jimmy John's Field. It's the USPBL YouTube channel. They got a hit in the top of the first. We move to the bottom, and the Beavers will bat for the first time tonight. Looking at a completely remixed order. Chris Newell trying to get anything he can out of the offense tonight. So, Adam, why don't you give us that lineup for the Beavers?
Well, the Beavers have lost 7 in a row, so as you said, Chris Newell really mixing things up with this lineup. Same players normally in the lineup, but just in a much different order. DJ Martinez, a shortstop, is going to lead it off. And another DJ G, second baseman, will hit second. Nick Wilson will hit third and play first base, as he normally does. The catcher, Ray Ortega, will be in the cleanup spot. Miles Williams, normal right fielder. He's the designated hitter for this game. He'll bat fifth. Dan Kennan at third base and batting sixth. Kevin Worth will bat seventh and play right field. Fernelli Sanchez, the eighth hitter, in center field. And the number 9 hitter, Dave Pepe, normally the leadoff hitter, but he's at the bottom of the order today, and he's in left field.
So the really big changes are you got Ortega in the cleanup spot.
Normally hits 8th or 9th.
Normally hits 8th or 9th. Pepe moves from the leadoff down to the bottom. DJ Martinez will move up to the leadoff spot. For the most part, Dan Kennan was normally batting number 2. DJ G will do that tonight, as DJ Martinez will step in and take a ball inside from the pitcher tonight. Jalen Miller, 5.95 ERA on the season in 19 and 2/3 innings pitched, 27 strikeouts, does have a high walk number, and that's really been the downfall for Jalen Miller on this season. Good stuff but hard time finding the strike zone.
And it'll be interesting to see if it happens again here. I think that the past couple of games that Jalen Miller has started, he's gone one inning, and he's done a good job, but he's kind of a relief pitcher. They'll just put him in. I don't know if he likes pitching the first inning or something, but we'll see if they get another pitcher in there in the second inning today. But he's falling behind 2-1 now on DJ Martinez.
Yeah, off-speed pitch breaks the outside part of the plate for a called strike on DJ Martinez into the windup and delivers. Another off-speed pitch will be a called strike to DJ Martinez. And, yeah, like you said, the theme for Jalen Miller on the season has been go an inning or 2 innings to start the games, and then his day is over. Is DJ Martinez puts a charge into this one. Ortel going back. He'll look up, and DJ Martinez leads off the bottom of the first inning with a home run. Just what the Beavers needed, getting on the board early, and DJ Martinez hits his 3rd home run of the season.
Wow, look at that. The new lineup immediately paying dividends for head coach Chris Newell. DJ Martinez normally hits in the 8 or 9 slot. Got moved up to number 1 today and hits a leadoff home run.
We've seen him do that a couple times on balls that get up in the zone, a little bit of sneaky power from the shortstop, DJ Martinez, and he caught one up in the zone there from Jalen Miller and pounds it over the left field wall, and it's 1-0 Beavers.
You know, it's kind of interesting. Dave Pepe, leadoff hitter normally. They say they flipped him and DJ Martinez 1 and 9 spots as G swings through a strike there on the outside corner. Martinez has been actually one of the few bright spots in the Beavers lineup during this kind of this slump that they've been in, and Pepe has kind of cooled off. So good idea by Newell to flip those two. They're still basically going to come up with the same amount of RBI situations, but Martinez will get that extra at bat being at the top of the order.
Absolutely, and G takes a fastball low and in the dirt. 1-1 count on him. Miller low again. 2-1 on DJ G, who's batting .267 with 3 home runs, 10 RBIs, 23 hits, 13 runs scored. Has played a couple different positions lately, as he'll foul tip one on a check swing there. We saw him get to start in left field the other night. For the most part, he plays second base, also some time at DH. Versatile guy.
Pretty good hitter, too. He's down to .267 right now, but he can come up with those clutch hits, and he's another Beaver, I would say, along with Nick Wilson, that is about due to have a big game.
Swing and a miss on the 2-2 pitch from Jalen Miller. G's down on strikes for out number 1 in the bottom of the first inning. But here's a guy coming to the plate now that we said really how this Beavers offense runs, and it runs through the big man Nick Wilson, who's been red hot all season long. Little ups and downs here, but he's been able to keep the average up. Still hit home runs, drive-in runs, 383 on the season, 14 home runs, 34 RBIs, 41 hits. The amazing number there, 28 walks, and he's also been hit by pitch 10 times, takes a strike on the outside part of the plate.
It's kind of interesting that he's been hit by a pitch so many times because he's definitely not the kind of guy you want to go inside to, but, I mean, it seems like every game. I think he's actually been on base every single game this season.
If not very close to it.
Right.
He takes a ball low in the dirt here. And you say, I wouldn't want to pitch Nick Wilson in and miss and throw a strike, but a lot of people try to get Nick Wilson out in tight on the hands as Miller paints the outside corner. Not hitting the plate, but we've seen pitchers that try to do that. They miss their spot way inside, and Nick Wilson usually makes them pay.
Right. And, you know, he does flash your occasional opposite field power, too. He homered a couple nights ago and hit it way over the right field wall, over the brick wall, I think, past the fence and over the hill area. So, you know, he's got that power to every area of the field. Fantastic hitter, just got a lethal swing. Really good, big, lanky body. You can get a lot of torque in that swing.
1-2 pitch missed. Swings through the 2-2 pitch. A very good off-speed pitch there. Looked like a changeup from Jalen Miller. And back-to-back strikeouts after the leadoff home run.
But you got to like that bounce back by Jalen Miller. You know, a lot of pitchers will come in and give up a leadoff home run and get kind of rattled, have trouble hitting the strike zone. He comes in against DJG and Nick Wilson, two of the better hitters in this lineup, and he gets them both to go down on strikes. So definitely a confidence builder there for Jalen Miller.
Absolutely. And that'll bring up Ray Ortega, as we mentioned, number 8 or 9 hitter normally. Bats cleanup tonight. Foul tips the first pitch he sees from Jalen Miller.
He's very good for a normal 8 or 9 hitter, though.
Absolutely.
He had a big game. I think he was 3 for 3 in the first game of the doubleheader earlier today. And his average is up, if you count that game, up to 295. So obviously a little better than any 8 or 9 hitter in most leagues or that kind of thing. So well deserved. He's actually hitting the cleanup spot before this year, I think.
Yep, I remember that game. He has hit in the cleanup spot before. It was kind of another game that manager Chris Newell kind of shuffled his lineup up as Miller misses low again. Didn't get to the defense for the Diamond Hoppers before the first batter. Ortel is in left. Joe Fiorino in center. Tyler Booth in right. Alex Delgado, Ricky Castro, the third and shortstops. Cam Stewart at second. Jamie McMillan at first. And Chris Power gets to start behind the dish as Jalen Miller misses low and away.
Yeah, Chris Power behind the plate, as we kind of expected with Corey Caswell back there earlier today. But I was kind of wondering if Caswell, he's been such a hot bat lately, if Paul Noce would DH him for this second game. Obviously, you don't want to have somebody catch 2 games on the same day.
Swing and miss from Ortega, and he'll take a stroll around the right-handed batter's box as he gathers himself ready to face Jalen Miller in a 2-2 count. There's 2 outs. The Beavers scored on DJ Martinez's leadoff home run. Miller delivers, and Ortega flies one out into right field. Not hit hard. Booth camps underneath it and will catch that one and make it out number 3. The Beavers score 1 run on the DJ Martinez solo shot. 1-0 as we head to the top of the second. Beavers on top of the Hoppers. Welcome back to Jimmy John's Field for the top of the second. The Beavers take the lead in the bottom half of the first. DJ Martinez solo shot.
Cam Stewart going to lead it off here for the Diamond Hoppers. Been one of the hottest hitters in the league for sure. Had a very nice game earlier today, and he's up to 282 batting average after going 2 for 3 in the first game of the doubleheader, and it's just been red hot at the plate.
Swings and fouls that pitch off of his leg, and it'll be 0-1 as we see Randy Wynn continue to throw first pitch strikes, and that's why we've seen him rewarded, moved up to the 5 spot in tonight's game. Normally hits a little lower in the lineup, but manager Paul Noce puts him in the 5 spot. Off-speed curveball, very nice pitch from Randy Wynn, hits the outside part of the plate for strike number 2.
I apologize. Actually, he's up to 276. He hit his 4th home run of the season in that first game.
Swing and miss on the off-speed pitch from Randy Wynn on the outside corner. Cam Stewart down on strikes, and that will be Randy Wynn's 2nd consecutive strikeout. And Zach Johnson will come up to the plate.
Don't know a whole lot yet about Zach Johnson in the USPBL. Has only played in 1 game so far. first baseman. He's DHing tonight with Jamie McMillan playing first base.
Swings and misses at this first offering from Randy Wynn on a fastball that was a little up and in.
Definitely chase that one out of the zone.
And he skies one into right field. Worth underneath it. Makes the catch, and Johnson is retired on 2 pitches.
And here's Jamie McMillan. Haven't seen a whole lot of him lately. Chris Allen been playing a lot of first base for the Diamond Hoppers. And Chris Power obviously has been the DH. So
you had Chris Allen at first a lot of the games, and now with Zach Johnson as well. Jamie McMillan getting the start here tonight, though, at first base. Fouls the first pitch back to the screen. And Jamie is one of the most fun guys to talk to. He's probably one of the nicest guys also. We'll always talk to you. He's just a funny guy, and I think the clubhouse loves him. His teammates love him. As Wynn throws a curveball that breaks inside and hits the inside corner, and McMillan is down 0-2. And Randy Wynn is just pounding the strike zone so far through this game.
Oh, yeah, he is. Here's the 0-2. Oh,
called strike on the outside corner, so Randy Wynn strikes out the last out in the second inning. Jamie McMillan looking on the outside part of the plate. Quick inning for the Beavers. We'll head to the bottom of the second. Beavers 1, Hoppers nothing. Miles Williams will step to the plate. Designated hitting duties tonight. Normally the everyday right fielder for the Beavers. Gets a night off in the field, but will still hit. Saw him provide the only run in last night's game against the Unicorns. It was a solo shot to right field. And he will swing and skies this one. Foul territory. McMillan looks like he has room and will make the catch as he tumbles onto his backside, but out number 1.
Yeah, always good to get Miles Williams out in one pitch. He's got maybe the best bat speed in the USPBL. Really tips his bat and lets it go. And to get him out on the first pitch is very good for Jalen Miller.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. We've seen Miles Williams. He's one of the most aggressive hitters. That's his approach, which was really rare the other night. I think it was Wednesday night. Watched 3 straight pitches from Cassidy Gaines and was called out on strikes. Not something you see from him very often, but Dan Kennan will step to the plate, 296 on the season. Moves down to the 6th spot, takes the ball outside from Jalen Miller. Normally, number 2 hitter. We saw him make a fine defensive play already down at third base in the first inning. Off speed, misses low from Miller.
Kennan hitting in the 6th spot today, and as you mentioned earlier, normally the number 2 hitter for the Beavers pretty much every game that he plays in. I think the other night, I want to say DJG might have hit second a few games ago. I don't remember which game exactly, but I think every time I've seen Dan Kennan, he's been in that 2 spot, and he really is kind of a classic number 2 hitter type guy. He gets on base, not a whole lot of power, but he knows how to work a count, and that's what he's done here, 3-0.
Kennan has the red light on 3-0 and takes a fastball on the inside part of the plate for strike number 1, makes it 3-1. As you were talking about, Ray Ortega got the move up, and he is now batting .299 before his first at bat. Foul tips that one, 3-2. Miller does a good job battling back, and we've seen the offense dip for the Beavers. Now Nick Wilson, the only player on their team above 300. At one time they had like 7 guys that were hitting over 300 in their lineup maybe 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I was filling out the some of the top stats leaders that I do, and pretty much all the batting average leaders. It was Wilson, Bell, and Pepe, and Bell's gone now, and Pepe is just gone under the 300 mark. He's actually down to 280 now.
Kennan swings and misses at that one, and will be down on strikes. So Jalen Miller gets his 3rd strikeout of the game. All 3 of his of the swinging variety. Randy Wynn has 2 strikeouts looking. And Kevin Worth will step to the plate.
Kevin Worth, another one of the nicest kids out there in this league. Really respectful guy out of Flagstaff, Arizona. Another guy just like Jamie McMillan, like you said, really fun to talk to. Always thanks you after interviewing him. Just a class act, and always smiling, that kind of guy.
Takes a strike from Jalen Miller to start off his first at-bat of the game. Swings and hits one foul territory. McMillan giving chase. Looks like he's going to have room, but he slips and almost makes the catch. It's the second time we've seen him lose his footing over there.
Definitely slippery over there from the rain.
Yeah, still almost made that catch in foul territory. Would have been a pretty cool catch laying on his back, but just another strike to Kevin Worth.
Now Miller's got Worth to 0-2, looking for his 4th strikeout of the game here, and obviously not something you want to, not a count that you want to throw a real good pitch to hit on. Just kind of throw it out of the zone and see if Worth chases it a little bit, and he's been known to kind of do that at times.
Absolutely, Miller's 0-2 pitched. Taps softly, Delgado charging bare hands, tosses across, not going to be in time. Fine play by Delgado to even make that play close. Worth runs well and able to beat out that infield single.
About as good of a play you can make there at third base by Alex Delgado, but as you mentioned, the speed of Kevin Worth, able to make it over to first base, and it's the 2nd hit of the game for the Beavers. 3rd overall in the game. There was the solo home run, and the other 2 are infield singles from Chris Power and Kevin Worth.
Yeah, both not hit very hard at all. That'll bring up Fernelli Sanchez. Sanchez batting from the left side, a switch hitter. Takes the first pitch low as a ball.
Sanchez out of New York, New York. He was a 16th round pick by the Atlanta Braves in the 2012 MLB draft.
Worth doesn't have any stolen base attempts as Sanchez swings and misses, but kind of looked like he wanted to go on that pitch, just jumped a little too early and had to stay put.
I'd definitely do it if I were him. You know, you get 2 outs right now. If he gets thrown out, Sanchez can start up the next inning, and then Pepe afterwards. And Chris Power not normally behind the plate a whole lot, so maybe test his arm early here.
Miller misses outside. 2-1's the count on Fernelli Sanchez. As we mentioned, Jalen Miller does have 27 strikeouts, but also 25 walks and 19 2/3 innings on the season. As he crosses the middle of the plate there for strike number 2 to Fernelli Sanchez.
Well, almost through the first time in the order here, and 3 strikeouts so far, no walks. Things looking good for Jalen Miller.
Been a good outing for Jalen Miller, and there is some action down in the bullpen for the Hoppers as that ball will get away from Chris Power. Wild pitch from Jalen Miller moves Worth down to second base. And I don't know if you've been able to listen to any of our broadcasts. Kevin Klein, who was doing it, running the show before, back at school now. He came up with the idea that the Beavers bullpen would be called the Dam.
Okay.
The Hoppers is the Pad, and the Unicorns bullpen is called the Castle.
I like it. I like it a lot.
So I know you're new to this first time on. The YouTube broadcast is Sanchez lazily swings and flails at a ball on the outside part of the plate. Swings right over top of it for strike out number 2 of the inning, and that's number 4 on the day for Jalen Miller. 1-0 will head to the third. Beavers on top of the Hoppers. You're listening to the United Shore Professional Baseball League YouTube channel.
Now batting for the Hoppers, the shortstop, number 7, Ricky Castro.
Back at Jimmy John's Field for the top of the third inning. DJG's dad just stopped by in town for the weekend to say hi and tell us that he listens a lot of the time to the YouTube broadcast from Seattle, Washington. So in town for the weekend to watch his son play. Ricky Castro takes a first pitch strike from Randy Wynn, and that's been the story of the day so far for Wynn. Pounding the strike zone, first pitches. Castro swings and misses at the second pitch and quickly down 0-2. And I think there's been a lot of 0-2 counts so far in this game.
Oh, yeah, quite a few, and it's definitely something you like to see out of this league and any pitcher. And I'm sure both coaches are incredibly happy so far with their pitchers because both of them have gotten ahead in the count consistently and forced batters to make tough decisions, fight off some pitches to stay alive, as Castro did right there.
Fouls another one back, so still 0-2. This number for Randy Wynn, first pitch strike percentage, 78.4. That is rather high. The closest to him on his team next is 69 by Neil Kunick. And Houghton Buchanan up there in the first pitch strikes as well. He'll ground that ball softly to G, makes a toss, gets him. What a play by DJG. Ricky Castro slides headfirst into first base, but G didn't even use his hand. Underhand tossed with the glove to Nick Wilson for out number 1.
And that's just a fantastic play by DJG. He had a lot of ground to cover to get to that ball, too, in time, and he flipped it right to Wilson perfectly. And a lot of times you see the ball kind of go errantly somewhere else on that type of play, but he really went all out on that one and got an important first out.
So Fiorino will get his first at-bat, takes a first pitch strike. Swings and misses. Good off-speed pitch there from Randy Wynn, and quickly ahead of Joe Fiorino, 0-2.
Looked like me at the plate on that one, way ahead of.
Fiorino getting a lot of the starts in center field now that Colin Willis has been moved on from the USPBL.
He finished off his time in the USPBL with a pretty solid game, I'd have to say, on his birthday, Sunday.
Strike 3. Joe Fiorino caught looking, and Randy Wynn racking up the strikeouts. That's his 4th now. 3rd strikeout looking, and we're only in the 3rd. But yeah, talking about Colin Willis, definitely went out with a bang. A grand slam, a 2-run homer, a triple, and a single. All on his birthday, and actually what turned out to be his last game in the USPBL.
Jamie McMillan gave him a shaving cream pie in the face afterwards.
Yep, we've seen a lot of kind of celebrations as Ortel swings and misses at the first pitch from Randy Wynn in the last couple days. Chris Cruz had the walk-off home run, got a Gatorade bath right at home plate from his teammates.
Really exciting stuff been happening in this league lately. You know, if you guys haven't come out to the ballpark, I'd definitely suggest it. It's pretty good baseball. You never know what's going to happen.
Absolutely, and the season's dwindling away as Wynn has missed the strike zone on the last 2 pitches. 2-1 on Ortel. Game number 59 tonight. Game 74 and 75 will be the playoffs. As a soft line drive to DJ Martinez will end the inning for Randy Wynn. 2.5 innings in the books here at Jimmy John's Field. 1-0 Beavers. We'll head to the bottom of the third. Number 9 hitter for the Beavers, Dave Pepe, will lead it off. And then back to the top. Jalen Miller is back out on the mound for his 3rd inning of work. Paul Nochi must be impressed with what he's seen so far, and why wouldn't he be? As he's gone through 2 innings, only giving up that home run to DJ Martinez to start the game, and the other hit was Kevin Worth's infield single. Sharp other than that, and he's behind 2-0 on Dave Pepe.
Miller only went over 2 innings one other time. He went 3 2/3 in a 5-6 loss to the Beavers on June 30th.
Hits the outside corner for strike 1 to Pepe. And as we remind you, with the makeup game earlier today, this will be a 7-inning contest as Dave Pepe follows that one back to the screen. The Hoppers won game 1 of the rematch, or the rain-delayed game, and that pulls them within a half game. So this game is for first place, the Beavers to stay in or the Hoppers to overtake the throne at the top of the league, and Pepe's down on strikes, called third. And Jalen Miller's feeling it out on the mound tonight.
Well, here comes DJ Martinez, and believe it or not, he was, well, other than the infield single from Worth, he's the only guy to really hit the ball hard off of Jalen Miller. And the infield single wasn't hit hard, but
he's really the only guy to hit a ball hard all game.
Right.
From both sides of the for both teams.
The lineup by Ortel to end the last inning was fairly hard. If it's 10 feet over to the...
Yeah, exactly. It's 5 feet in either direction. It's probably a base hit.
Right.
As Miller starts Martinez off with the first pitch strike, misses high with the second one. And tonight at Jimmy John's Field is superhero night. Saw Batman, Captain America, all walking around the concourse, taking pictures with fans. Fouled back to the screen. And Jalen Miller's ahead of DJ Martinez 1 and 2.
Always a fun night for the kids, you know. These kids here, you see a lot of kids wearing Batman, Superman outfits. And that's something I actually ever really got into. All my friends are huge fans of all the Marvel movies and stuff. But
1 and 2, swing and a miss. Great curveball by Jalen Miller. Gets DJ Martinez on strikes, and that's 3 straight strikeouts for Jalen Miller.
Second baseman, number 19, DJG.
Kind of strange, Jalen Miller, you know, as we brought up several times this game, doesn't stay in games for too long, kind of more of a relief pitcher type. But he's seemed to get stronger ever since the beginning of this. I mean, he's been striking out. He's got 5 strikeouts already, 6 strikeouts already. He had 5 through his first time through the order. First batter he faces the second time through, strikes him out. So
G fouls that one back to the screen. And you know what I think we can accredit it to is he's staying in the strike zone. He's not wild. He's not missing the strike zone. He doesn't have a walk yet through 2 2/3 innings. And like we mentioned, that was his downfall. 25 walks to 27 strikeouts before we started play today. As G will hit one foul back towards the Beavers dugout. And Miller ahead of him 0-2.
Right there was another example of something Miller's been doing pretty often tonight to get to that 0-2 count. Once he gets a guy 0-1, he'll throw an off-speed pitch, and they'll be ahead of it.
Comes back with the fastball, but that lands in the left-handed batter's box. So 1-2, and like you said, that off-speed pitch is going to be something he might go to here in the 1-2 count to DJG. Gets his sign from Power into his windup, delivers. Nope, fastball again, but that misses outside. 1-0, Beavers on top of the Hoppers. The scoring was led by DJ Martinez, who hit a home run in his first plate appearance off of Jalen Miller, actually to lead off the game. And that one hit G on the hand and then caught Power pretty good. And he is awarded first base. Took a little while to give that sign. I don't know if the home plate umpire thought it might have been a foul ball, but it looked like it caught him on the right hand, which is his top hand. Usually comes through the zone second. Kind of a weird situation. He's shaking his left hand, so it did get him on that bottom hand.
That was always my biggest fear playing baseball. It was taking like a half swing on a pitch like that and getting hit right in the hands. And luckily it never happened to me. But DJ's a tough kid. He's out there. Looks like he's all right.
Well, absolutely. You have no padding on your hands whatsoever. Small bones. We saw happen to Tigers fans, saw happen to Nick Castellanos, kind of the downfall of their real last 3 weeks that have not been very good. But now Nick Wilson will step to the plate. Struck out in his first at-bat, and he's got a runner on first.
Yeah, I was at that Tiger game when Castellanos got hurt. He's my favorite Tiger, too, so not fun to see.
Swings and misses at the fastball, low and inside from Jalen Miller. So Jalen Miller, like Randy Wynn, has been getting ahead of a lot of these Beavers hitters tonight. Sets, holds the glove at his belt. High leg kick, bounces that ball. Chris Power, good job blocking that one, keeps DJG at first base.
Wilson, I don't want to say he's on a cold streak because he's still hitting the ball with regularity every game. But you know he doesn't have he hasn't had a multi-homer game in a while. That's something he would do fairly often, it seems like. But
he hasn't put together. I think he hasn't really put together the home runs in back consecutive games as he looks real uncomfortable there on the curveball from Jalen Miller. Swings all arms and really just flailed at that ball.
He's actually only got 2 homers in his past 10 games. He only got 1 RBI in his past 6.
So that would be a little bit of a streak as he strikes out again. Jalen Miller challenges him inside with a fastball, and Nick Wilson swings right through it. Strikeout number 7 for Jalen Miller through 3 innings. We head to the top of the 4th. Beavers 1, Hoppers 0.
I hope he does well his next time up here.
All right, as we cut play in the top of the fourth inning, Randy Wynn back to the mound. Chris Power, the catcher in tonight's game, will start things off for the Diamond Hoppers. Quick-paced game to this one. Both pitchers cruising along. 4 strikeouts for Randy Wynn. The hardest ball hit today was a somewhat hard line drive to the second baseman, DJ Martinez, as he misses low there for ball 1. And how about Jalen Miller tonight? 7 strikeouts through the first 3 innings. Power fouls that one back out of play.
Definitely best performance so far of the year for Jalen Miller. As I said, he's only gone more than 2 innings once, and that wasn't one of his better games, but his high strikeout game was actually in the 13-6 loss to the Beavers on August 4th. He gave up 6 earned runs in that game and struck out 4. So definitely seeing a major improvement in Jalen Miller's pitching tonight, and good for him. It's always a fun thing to see players come out and throw one of their best games.
Power swings and misses at consecutive pitches, and he'll be down on strikes. So Randy Wynn up to the challenge of Jalen Miller. That's strikeout number 5 for him. And
Tyler Booth.
1 down in the top of the 4th.
Booth reached on a fielder's choice last time. Chris Power was thrown out at second base, but they couldn't get Booth at first for the double play.
Changeup gets in there for a strike. Yeah, you're right, and that was a good defensive play by third baseman Dan Kennan, who plays off the bag quite a bit. Ground ball is going to get back up the middle. Randy Wynn looked like he might have got a piece of it with his glove, but Booth hits it hard right up the middle for the second hit of the game for the Diamond Hoppers.
And that stops a streak of 9 in a row retired by Randy Wynn. Delgado steps in with 1 out and a guy on first.
Delgado struck out looking to end the first with Booth on first base. Misses outside there. And tomorrow, the Unicorns will take on these Eastside Diamond Hoppers. 2 o'clock Sunday game.
Should be a good one with the way the Unicorns are playing lately, and especially if the Hoppers find a way to win this game and go into first place.
Delgado swings and misses. How about Chris Cruz? 5 home runs in his last 4 games, 2 of them of the Grand Slam variety. Him and Austin Crutcher are really putting a hurting on the pitching in the rest of the league right now.
Oh, man, and to make matters even worse for opposing pitchers, Connor Nairn comes in, slot him in at the third spot. There's a typical hit by Delgado in between third and short.
Right there, got out in front of the curveball a little bit, didn't hit it hard, but hit it right under the glove of a diving third baseman, Dan Kennan, and now you got runners on first and second with 1 out. And if you're not able to make it out to Jimmy John's Field for the game tomorrow, we always love to have you listen to us on the YouTube channel. And tomorrow, actually, relief pitcher for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers, Houghton Buchanan, is going to be in the booth calling the game with me.
Is he really?
Yeah, he had some interest in doing a game, and we have a spot open for him. So he's going to fill in and do the color commentary tomorrow afternoon. So if you're a fan of Houghton Buchanan, you can hear him in the booth. I'm sure he'll talk about his season and how things have gone for him so far in the USPBL tomorrow afternoon. But his mind is set on getting the victory tonight. And Randy Wynn in the first real jam here as he misses high to Cam Stewart. 2 men on. And one of the hotter hitters in the Hoppers lineup up hits the outside corner for strike 1 to even the count 1-1.
Yeah, Cam Stewart, 4th home run of the year in the first game of the doubleheader earlier today. Really has picked up his bat lately. He was in the very low 200s for quite a while this season, and he's got it way up now.
Skies a ball into right field. Worth underneath it. Booth pretends he's going to tag, but the throw gets away from Kennan or got away from the shortstop, DJ Martinez, excuse me. But Kennan was there to make to stop the ball. Nobody moves up. Lazy fly ball off the bat of Cam Stewart for out number 2. And Randy Wynn 1 out away of getting out of this mini jam in the 4th.
And I think that's why you saw Booth do that fake tag up, is because if you notice, there's no one near second base, so he can come pretty far off, and he's not going to get caught in a pickle or anything, and he coaxed the throw over there.
And it kind of worked because it wasn't a good throw to the cutoff man, DJ Martinez. You did have the pitcher, Randy Wynn, backing up third base if the ball was to get by Dan Kennan. So not like he might have been able to get to third base, but he still made the Beavers make a play as Zach Johnson laid on a fastball from Randy Wynn, fouls it back into the screen.
Johnson's still looking for his first USPBL hit, but as I mentioned before, this is only his second game in the league with the Hoppers. Pretty tall kid. Definitely looks like a first baseman. DH tonight, though, with McMillan getting some time over at first base.
0-1 pitch is a curveball that Ortega does a good job blocking, and we see that night in and night out with the backstop for the Beavers. Ray Ortega does a fine job blocking balls for his pitching staff.
Catches pretty consistently. Logan Sperlin is the backup catcher, and he played last night, but you see Ortega behind there pretty much every game, and really consistent player. He's, like you said, always good at blocking balls. He's got a pretty good arm. Hitting in the cleanup spot tonight.
Swings late again on that fastball right into the screen down the first base side of the field.
Good thing that screen is there, because
it's a great idea. It's a great idea. Goes all the way around. Really kind of keeps the ball from hard line drives from getting into those cabana suites that are right above the dugouts as well. Soft ground ball. Wilson will field, and he's not going to make a play anywhere as he wanted to go to second base. DJ Martinez not there.
Now batting the first baseman, number
Randy Wynn was going to first base, and that's going to be the first base hit of the USPBL, Zach Johnson.
Yeah, good for him, too. It's another infield hit. Third infield hit we've seen tonight. And Wilson, being a super tall kid, 6'6", that ball kind of carried his momentum to his right side, and it was going to be tough for him to make a turn and throw it accurately back to first base. So he was kind of looking to make the play at second, but I think he realized he wasn't going to get Alex Delgado at second base, and now Jamie McMillan steps in with the bases loaded.
Fouls one down the third base side. McMillan thinks he missed a pitch there that he could have done some damage with. And if you're Nick Wilson on that play, do you think he ranged a little too far to his right to field that ball? DJG was behind him. Sometimes as first baseman, it's a hard territory to get in, as Ortega looked a little crossed up on that pitch from Wynn.
That's a really good question.
Because would G have been able to get to that ball? I mean, we haven't seen much of Zach Johnson, so we don't know what kind of runner he is. He looked like he was moving pretty good down the line. As Chris Newell will come out to the mound real fast.
We got a problem with Wynn, or is he?
I'm not quite sure. He kind of came out of that dugout real fast. I don't know if he didn't like what he saw from that last pitch, or kind of saw that maybe Ortega and that Wynn weren't on the same page with that last pitch. Ortega was coming out of his crouch to catch what he thought was a fastball, and it broke off.
Back to that question about...
That looks a little stern talk.
Yeah,
Chris Newell does not look happy with his pitcher, Randy Wynn. But conversation is over.
Chris Newell just a spectacular guy. Talked to him after the game the other night. He's also a scout for the New York Yankees, and he offered to buy me a beer, and I said, no, I don't drink, but it's very nice of him to do so after just about 5 minutes of talking, so I thought that was really cool.
McMillan slaps one foul down the first base line. That ball's going to stay over there. Someone's going to have to go out and get that one.
Back to your question about Nick Wilson on that last play, though, I think the ball was moving too slowly for it to get to DJG in time to field it, make the throw to first in time. So I think it was the right decision by Wilson to field that ball, but
I do think you were right, though. Second base was going to be the easiest play for him to get to, or be able to make a play at, because it would have been a tough play at first base as McMillan fouled the 1-2 pitch back to the screen. There's 2 outs, bases loaded. spoils another fastball from Randy Wynn.
Nice job to fight that one off by McMillan. Not a pitch he could have done a whole lot with. Fastball, kind of tried to paint the outside corner and just kind of spoiled it off there, and gets to regroup for the next pitch.
One, two, still the count on McMillan. Bases loaded, 2 outs, good opportunity. And Randy Wynn gets a strike out of Jamie McMillan, and he is not happy. The Hoppers strand the bases loaded. It's 1-0 Beavers as we head to the bottom of the fourth here on the USPBL YouTube channel. Back here at Jimmy John's Field, bottom of the fourth inning, 1-0 Beavers on top of the Hoppers, and Jalen Miller's day is going to be done. He will be replaced on the mound by the right-handed pitcher from Clarkston, Michigan, Matt Rogers. 15 appearances so far in the USPBL, 2 starts, 25 innings pitched, 20 hits, 12 runs, 7 of them earned, 15 walks to 34 strikeouts, has a win-loss record of 2-1. ERA at 2.52, and opposing hitters only hitting 211 off of the right-hander. Pitched at Evansville University for collegiate ball. Jalen Miller was impressive through 3, only gave up 2 hits. One of them was the home run to DJ Martinez, so he did give up an earned run. No walks, 7 strikeouts. Very good day for Jalen Miller. He did his job.
Fantastic
and looked
job.
Sharp through all 3 innings. But Rogers will take over now, and he will have to face the 4, 5, 6 hitters for the Beavers, Ortega, Williams, and Kennan. Ortega flat out softly to the right fielder Tyler Booth in his last plate appearance, and he'll take a first pitch strike.
Well, I know we're just one batter in here, but Matt Rogers following the trend of Jalen Miller getting the first pitch strikes. And there's another one.
And like you said, another strike splits the heart of the play for another called strike. And Matt Rogers went for a good majority of the season without giving up an earned run. And it wasn't until probably 3 weeks ago that he gave up his first earned run. Just misses on the outside part of the plate there as Ortega watches ball 1 go by.
Still has that 2.52 ERA.
Still very good.
Yeah, and actually it went, if you take out his last game, August 14th, they did get a win in that game, but he gave up 4 earned runs in 4 innings. And
that was his start, I believe. He started that game?
Yes.
Okay.
And then he, that more than doubled his previous total for earned runs in the year. He had 3 earned runs all year coming into that game, having pitched 21 innings coming into that game with 3 earned runs, and just everybody has a shaky start sometimes. He walked 5 guys, hasn't walked more than 2 in any other start.
Ortega hits it softly back to Rogers, and he'll run it over halfway and underhand toss it to McMillan to retire the cleanup hitter in the Beavers order. Miles Williams will be up. flew out in foul territory to Jamie McMillan his last time up on the first pitch he saw. Aggressive hitter. We saw him go opposite field. Majority of his home runs have been opposite field, but when he is able to pull the ball, you see some impressive power from him.
You can see that outfield shift. There's a big gap in left center, and left fielder's way off the line, but like you say, he doesn't hit it over there too much.
And talking to him a little bit, that's a lot of his approach. He likes to hit the ball the other way and keeps him on. And you hear that from a lot of big league hitters as well. They like to use the whole field, go the other way. I mean, Miguel Cabrera, one of the best hitters ever, just hits the ball opposite field all day long, as the second pitch from Rogers was outside for ball number 2. Misses outside again, 3-0 on Miles Williams.
You got to be able to hit the ball to all fields if you want to be a successful ball player, especially the higher up in the ranks you go. And that's definitely a good sign for Miles Williams going forward.
Takes a fastball that splits the heart of the plate. Swings and fouls that one straight back to the screen, so full count on the number 5 hitter, designated hitter Miles Williams.
Nice job by Rogers after falling behind 3-0 to fight back and get to 3-2.
Absolutely. So we will have a full pitch count from Matt Rogers. Nobody on, 1-0 Beavers. Swing and a miss. Gets Miles Williams, fights his way back from after falling behind 3-0 to get the strikeout. 2 down in bottom of the 4th.
Challenged him with what looked like a high fastball there, and maybe high and out of the zone even, but it looked too good for Williams to lay off, and always a tough pitch to lay off when it's high like that.
Yeah, it looked a little tight, but Rogers kind of said, here's my best pitch, you hit it. And he won that battle between him and Miles Williams.
And with that strikeout, that leaves Ray Ortega and Kevin Worth as the only 2 Beavers that have not struck out yet in this game. It's the 4th inning.
Kennan looks at a first pitch strike, and that'll happen when your starter strikes out 7 of the 9 outs recorded that he pitched, and Rogers adds a strikeout here, so that's 8 strikeouts through 3 2/3 innings. Kennan fouls that one softly down the third base line, and now you have an 0-2 count.
That was a nice breaking ball by Rogers. Looked like it was heading into the strike zone, but not a whole lot Kennan could do on it. Slow pitch inside, and all he could do is pull it well foul.
0-2 pitch, and he's going to be called out. Outside corners working for the pitchers tonight. Kennan down on strikes looking for out number 3. We'll head to the top of the 5th. 1-0. Beavers on top of the Hoppers. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. back inside Jimmy John's field for the top of the 5th inning. 3 more innings to play. 5th, 6th, and 7th as Randy Wynn back on the mound, misses low and tight with the changeup to Ricky Castro, the shortstop, 0 for 1 in today's game. Castro grounded out softly to DJ G, who made the fine underhand toss with his glove to Nick Wilson to retire Castro as he takes a strike. Wynn works quickly into his windup and he taps another one foul, but right to the first base coach. And now Randy Wynn finds himself in front of Ricky Castro, 1 and 2.
Castro had a very good game Friday night. Thursday night. 2 for 4 with that 2-run double. Yep,
that was a huge hit. Guys on second and third. I remember that game. I talked to him about it, and he goes, "That was an Ichiro swing, kind of." Wasn't the great. Said it wasn't the greatest hit, and I told him it still goes down as a scorebook as a 2 RBI double. So nobody's going to remember what it looked like, just what it produced. And that was a big hit in the game because that pushed them ahead, I think 2-0 at the time. And they went on to win that game. That was against the Beavers, as the Beavers played 4 consecutive days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then the 2 games today. So 5 games in this week for the Beavers. First time that's happened all season. Wynn bounces that one in there.
Well, again, he's got him to 2 strikes, and not the pitch he wanted to throw there on 2-2, but he's got another chance here to rack up another strikeout.
So the payoff pitch, Ricky Castro, Wynn winds and delivers, and another foul ball. Ricky Castro has done, we've mentioned it plenty of times, but we'll mention it again, as since Ryan Willard left and joined the Frontier League, Ricky Castro regained the starting role as a shortstop, and he's done nothing but hit. A couple big hits for him as he fouls another one straight back into the screen. So good at battle here between Wynn and Castro.
One of the few international players in this league. Castro out of the Dominican Republic, Alex Delgado from Venezuela, and Zach Johnson from British Columbia. All 3 of those guys playing for the Hoppers tonight.
The 3-2 pitch, another one foul.
Really good work by Castro to foul that one off, because 3-2, you're not going to normally be in the mode to pull a pitch, and with that one inside, he shook it off that way.
Drives one out to left field, but Pepe doesn't have to take more than 2 steps to get underneath that one. So Wynn wins that battle. Ricky Castro put up a good fight, but he retires him for the first out in the top of the 5th. That'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Joe Fiorino, who's retired on strikes last time up. Swings and misses at the first pitch from Randy Wynn. Was low and inside. Fiorino helped him out a little bit there. Ground ball back to the pitcher. Wynn fields it, and underhand toss to Wilson to retire Fiorino for out number 2.
Can we have another 1-2-3 inning on our hands here?
I don't know. We've had quite a few of them today. 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd. Working on 1 in the 5th here for the Beavers.
In order to get there, Randy Wynn will have to retire Luke Ortel, one of the better hitters in this lineup, and has definitely been pretty consistent hitter all year. No real up and down patterns for Luke Ortel, just kind of in steady production for him.
Fouls that one back out of play. Sits at 293 coming into this game. 26 runs, 39 hits, 16 RBIs, 24 walks, and he'll get a base hit through the right side of the infield. But your typical leadoff hitter, he gets on base a ton.
Perfect leadoff hitter. And they had him moved down to the 3rd spot.
I think it only lasted 1 game, and then he was brought back up. He's got an on-base percentage north of 400.
And he's not a big power guy. He does have 2 home runs on the year, one of them coming earlier this afternoon. But that's always a good thing. If you have a guy that can get on base a ton but not hit for a lot of power, perfect fit for that leadoff spot because you don't want to waste
he's
your
gonna
power
go
guy.
from second or from first base, but Power skies that one to right field, Worth underneath it. Ortel was going to say did have 8 stolen bases, only caught twice. You saw him go on the first pitch to Power, and Power not happy with himself as he flies out to right field. That'll do it for the top of the 5th. We'll head to the bottom half. 1-0 Hoppers, or 1-0 Beavers on top of the Hoppers. Back inside Jimmy John's Field for the bottom of the 5th inning. Matt Rogers back to work for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. He'll face the bottom 3rd of the Beavers order, Worth, Sanchez, and Pepe. Tomorrow, like we said, 2 o'clock game between the Unicorns and Hoppers. And that is Hoppers Backpack Giveaway night. Wednesday night between the Unicorns and Beavers, Irish Heritage Night. Thirsty Thursday, as always on Thursdays, Beavers and Hoppers. Friday night is the UCS Back to School Night, Utica Community Schools. There's also fireworks. That's right around the corner for many kids, including yourself. You're probably going back to school pretty shortly here at Oakland University.
I do.
Worth drives one high in the air. Ortel at the wall looking up. Jumps. And it's gone. Does not have the ball. Kevin Worth leads it off with a home run. As we were talking between the half inning, one of my favorite plays of the season was a robbed home run by Ortel out there in left field. So had to give it a second, but not able to come up with that one. And Worth launches the long ball to add on to the Beavers' lead, 2-0.
He just ambushed that ball, and that was it took off the bat, but it went so high I wasn't sure if it was going to make it over the fence, and it just barely did.
Yeah, it hit extremely high, and we saw a couple balls to left field last night die and not make it. I remember specifically Austin Crutcher hit a ball that I thought was no doubtedly gone, and Pepe was able to catch it at the wall. Sanchez takes ball 1 outside from Matt Rogers. So the Beavers have done their damage with 2 solo home runs from DJ Martinez and Kevin Worth.
Coming at different parts of the lineup there. Kevin Worth is actually one of the few guys in the lineup that is hitting in the area of the lineup that he normally hits in. Normally, I guess you'd say he's been a 5th hitter pretty often. He's been the 4 hitter a couple of times, but down at the 7th spot again today. Doesn't play right field too often. That's where he is today. He's normally left field, third base, or DH, but versatile player.
The 1-1 pitch. Sanchez swings through that one, and very versatile player. Will hit when he gets in the lineup. That is his, doesn't have many, but he is his 5th home run of the season now for Kevin Worth. Had 4 coming into today's game. And that one right there gives them a little bit of insurance. Off-speed pitch from Rogers. Changeup just misses high and off the plate to Sanchez. Makes the count 2-2.
Sanchez very highly regarded by manager Chris Newell. as he fouls one off
Ooh,
there.
right into the Beavers dugout, and that one ricocheted off the back wall, makes its way back onto the playing surface. You saw everybody duck. Let's hope nobody got hit down there. They're signaling for the trainer, it looks like. So that ball may have caught somebody in the dugout.
Yeah, Miles Williams was out there right away, calling in the trainer.
So the trainer will make his way over from the first base dugout to the third. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. That ball was hit hard off the bat of Fernelli Sanchez right into the Beavers dugout. I don't remember that happening yet this season, not at least like that, with the dugout so far away from the home plate area.
Yeah, that's really strange. Normally you don't see that a lot in games when the dugout's closer, but
Sanchez swings and misses through that 2-2 pitch from Matt Rogers, and the strikeouts continue for the Beavers hitters.
hopefully we'll get word of who that is down there and can update you that he's okay. I'm sure he is. It didn't seem to be too much of a panic over there. Just get somebody over there to check it out.
10 strikeouts for the Hoppers pitchers, Miller and Rogers. Pepe fouls the first pitch from Rogers back to the screen.
Another first pitch strike.
That's been a theme between all the hitters, or all the pitchers in today's game.
And that's something you got to love seeing as Pepe takes the ball outside, breaking ball. Especially if you're a fan of this league or anybody associated with this league, if you see pitchers out there throwing strikes, because that's always a big problem in kind of independent baseball leagues and leagues, pro leagues with younger kids, is a lot of pitchers have trouble finding the strike zone, and we've seen it a couple times this year. You see that at every level, but
absolutely, Pepe fouled that pitch back to the screen. But going off of your point on the throwing strikes, and that's where we've seen a lot of those huge inning games. We've seen errors, walks, and then hits followed by those errors and walks are what lead to the big innings. But like you said, the free passes are just killer. When you put guys on base and then you give up one hit, it usually scores a couple runs. So it's a tough thing to do. As Pepe took a pitch in the dirt from Rogers to even the count 2-2.
the walks will kill you. Walks will kill you, and that's why. Yep.
Pepe holds up, and Rogers misses low. Full count coming here. Bottom of the fifth inning was led off by Kevin Worth, who hit a sky-high ball to left field that cleared the left field wall. And outside corner, strike three, Pepe down. That's number 4 for Matt Rogers.
I think Pepe knew that was a strike. Definitely one you got to swing at with 2 strikes, but he kind of got frozen there. Back to the top of the order now for DJ Martinez, the solo home run to lead it off, and then a strikeout in the third, just like pretty much everybody else in this lineup.
Yeah, yep. He's got one of the 3 hits, and he'll slap a ball foul into right field. The leadoff home run got a fastball that got up in the zone, up and in, and he was able to turn on it from Jalen Miller and drive it over the left field wall to start the game. Rogers, 0-1 pitch, off speed, bounces in there. Power picks that one up and tosses it back to his pitcher. Worth led this inning off with the home run, and that's where our scoring ends. Good pitching. Misses high. 2-1 on DJ Martinez.
So now going back to, well, I guess the game earlier today doesn't count, but so far this game here tonight, only runs are from 2 solo homers, and then last night all 3 runs were from 3 solo homers.
DJ Martinez swings and misses at the 2-1 offering from Matt Rogers, so 2-2. Drives the ball in the right field, but Tyler Booth goes back and then comes in, and he'll make the catch for out number 3. So a clean inning for Matt Rogers, 2 strikeouts, And the fly ball to right field, but he did get touched up for that leadoff home run from Kevin Worth. Makes it 2-0. Beavers ahead of the Hoppers as we head to the 6th.
And hey, fans, just a little.
Top of the 6th inning here at Jimmy John's Field, 2-0. Beavers on top of the Hoppers. Hoppers squandered an opportunity last half inning as they loaded the bases with 2 outs, but Wynn was able to get the strikeout of Jamie McMillan to end that threat. Tyler Booth, the number 3 hitter in the lineup, is up and fouls the first pitch from Randy Wynn back to the screen. And that ball's driven into center field. Fernelli Sanchez giving chase. It's going to get down and up against the wall. Booth rounds first, heads to second. He will pull up with a leadoff double. One hopper off the wall in left center field.
That was some great contact from Tyler Booth, who's got a single and the ground into the fielder's choice tonight. Now to go along with the double. Couldn't start off inning any better for the Hoppers right now. He took that ball all the way out to the fence in center field, had a little bit of tailing action on it, got away from Sanchez, no way he was going to get to that ball. And Booth got to second.
As a lefty hitting that ball's going to slice away from the fielder chasing it from the right side. So it looked like Fernelli's had a bit of a beat on it to start, but that ball just kept tailing away from him. Did a good job getting it back in to hold him to a double. Delgado swings and misses at the first pitch he sees.
This is the guy you want up if you got a guy in scoring position. Shortstop holding Booth on a little bit here.
Looks to bunt, drops it down. Ortega going to be a tough play. Not in time. They say Nick Wilson was off.
I think he was safe anyways.
Yeah, that'll be an infield single, a bunt hit. Great job by Alex Delgado. A perfect bunt right down the third base line. A little too far for the catcher, but third baseman not expecting it. Smart heads-up play by Delgado. So now you got runners on the corners with nobody out. And something brewing here for the Hoppers in the 6th.
Cam Stewart coming to the plate here. Good speed shown by Delgado. Good hustle there to beat that one out.
Stewart drives a ball, one hop out to Sanchez, and that'll get a run home. So first 3 batters reach via the hit. Cam Stewart line drive to center field.
And that last run was the AAA insurance run of the game.
And now we have a 2-1 ball game.
2-1 with runners on first and second, no outs. So
Corey Caswell.
Doesn't look like there's anything going on in the Beaver Dam.
Corey Caswell is going to get the bat here for Zach Johnson.
Big part of the game. After 3 consecutive hits, runners on first and second now with nobody out. So you're going to bring up one of your best hitters off the bench. Corey Caswell to hit for Zach Johnson, who flew out to right field in the first and then got his first hit in the USPBL, a infield single. Or are we going to have a different hitter? It's not going to be Corey Caswell. It's going to be Michael Scholar. hitting for Zach Johnson. Scholar on the season.
You're going to believe that Michael Scholar is being put in the game here to bunt.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what he does. Bunts it right back to the pitcher. Play at third base. Got him. What a play by Randy Wynn. The heads-up composure that he had chance. Scholar bunts it right back to the pitcher hard. Wynn slips and falls as he's throwing that ball over to the third baseman, Kennan, but holds on to get the out at third.
And I definitely think that was a good call. I think he beat him by just a hair.
Batting the first baseman, number 14, Jamie McMillan.
Scholar wanted to get that ball a little bit to one of the pitcher's sides, hit a little bit too straight towards the pitcher. And now here comes Caswell.
Now we'll see Caswell pinch hit for Jamie McMillan. Looked like Paul Nochi was hoping that he could get runners at second and third with one out, but Scholar unable to perform the sacrifice bunt.
Corey Caswell's been on fire lately. Big situation for him to try to tie this thing up.
Looks at the first pitch from Randy Wynn for a called strike. Yeah, the average all the way back up to around 322 or 323 on the board. 321 coming into this game. Swings and misses at an off-speed pitch. And if there's been one downfall for Corey Caswell, it's been that pitch right there.
Yep.
He's not been able to lay off that pitch all season long. And pitchers have gone to the well on it a lot of times, but he gets them earlier in the bat before they're able to work in that curveball 0-2 count. He's going to sky a fly ball. Kevin Worth tracks it in, and it's not going to be shallow enough to move up the runners. So runners still at second and first after Scholar bunted the ball back to Wynn, gets the out at third base. Pinch hitter Corey Caswell flies out to the right fielder Kevin Worth for out number 2, and the Hoppers are in danger of stranding runners again.
And even if the bunt was successful, that was too shallow to score a run on a sacrifice fly, so it doesn't turn out to harm them too much yet.
Ricky Castro, grounded out to the second baseman, flew out to the left fielder, but he's had one of the couple that better at-bats against Randy Wynn tonight. Fouled off a ton of pitches in his last at-bat and hits one to G, who ranges to his left, fields it. Nick Wilson keeps that left foot on the base for out number 3, and Randy Wynn is able to strand a leadoff double and are able to strand guys at second and first after giving up one run. 2-1. Beavers on top of the Hoppers will head to the bottom of the 6th here at Jimmy John's Field.
The Beavers, the second baseman, number 19, DJG.
Bottom of the 6th inning at Jimmy John's Field. DJG will lead it off for the Beavers. The Hoppers get one back in the top of the 6th, but strand 2 runners after 3 straight hits off of Randy Wynn, but he's able to get the fielder's choice bunt where he got the out at third base, a fly ball to the right fielder as G pops one up in foul territory. Giving chase is the new first baseman, Corey Caswell, as I was going to say. Pinch hit for McMillan and stays in the game. First time we've seen him at first base. And, of course, the first ball hit into play finds him, and he overruns a pop-up in foul territory that he could have made a catch.
It always happens in baseball. You can't hide out there.
It absolutely does. Once, if you say you make an error, it feels like the next ball comes to you. You make a defensive replacement. That ball is going to find that person right away. But it's just a strike as Rogers bounces the next pitch in there, 1-1. Caswell not used to chasing fly balls down from that angle. Usually the everyday catcher for the Hoppers. He's going to get another opportunity here as G hits another one into foul territory. Caswell camping under that and will make the catch. Almost popped out of that first baseman's glove there, but Caswell redeems himself and makes the out in foul territory. And he's probably hearing it a little bit from the guys in the dugout.
I'm sure he is.
As that was right in front of the Beavers Hoppers dugout.
Here's Nick Wilson.
Looked a little uncomfortable in his first 2 plate appearances. 2 strikeouts. Those were both against Jalen Miller. He'll face Matt Rogers with 1 out in the top of the 6th, and the first pitch will miss inside. Looks like in the Beavers bullpen, or the Beaver Dam, you have Derek Schneider warming up, the lefty from Portage, Michigan, played at Western Michigan. Rogers misses inside again.
Somebody getting loose over there in the pad as well.
The 2-0 pitch misses outside. 3-0 on Nick Wilson, 1 out. Nobody on, 2-1, and it'll be the last at-bats for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers in the top of the 7th.
They've actually out-hit the Beavers 8-3. Stranded a lot more runners.
Nick Wilson will take a 4-pitch walk. Matt Rogers looked like he didn't want anything to do with the big guy there, so Wilson's aboard at first, and Ray Ortega will be up to bat.
Now batting the catcher, number 99, Ray Ortega.
Ortega has flied out to right field and also grounded out to the pitcher. Wilson at first base. Not going to have to worry about him stealing a bag. Ortega gets out in front of one and skies one into the air. 3 Hoppers giving chase, and Ortel overruns that one back into foul territory, but just a long strike. So that's 2 foul balls overrun by Hoppers defenders. That one kind of worked its way back towards the field of play, and Ortel was up against the Beaver Dam there.
That was up there for so long that Delgado and Castro both got to pretty much the same area as Ortel, the left fielder.
That was hit extremely high. I mean, we lost it for a second there as we have an overhang above us, above our press box. It's just a long strike for Ortega. Looks at the next pitch, ball low and outside. Looking for some insurance runs are the Beavers. 2-1, both their runs, solo home run variety. Misses inside. The Hoppers added a run back in the top half of the 6th after a leadoff double by Tyler Booth, followed by a bunt single from Delgado, and Cam Stewart drove in the run with a line drive up the middle, but both those guys were stranded on the bases. And Ortega drives one in the center field. Fiorino giving chase, but he's underneath it to make an easy catch. 2 retired.
Good contact by Ortega, but hung up there just a little bit too long, and Fiorino covered some ground to get over to it for a big second out. But now Williams, always a dangerous hitter, steps up with a man on first.
Absolutely. Fiorino, one of the faster players in the league, can cover a lot of ground out there in the outfield. Miles Williams struck out in his last at-bat and flew out to the first baseman in his first at-bat. We'll look at a ball outside.
Love how he tips that bat when he swings. You know, it's tough for some guys to do because they'll fall behind, but if he times it correctly, it gives him a lot more power and bat speed, which we definitely see out of Williams. Swing
and a miss. Pickoff throw up for Nick Wilson. Caswell not able to pick it up. And Wilson, the ball ended up underneath him, will pick it up and put it in Caswell's glove for him to toss back to the pitcher, Matt Rogers.
Kind of a Miguel Cabrera type.
Yeah, absolutely right there. Kind of like, here you go. Missing something.
Something he would do.
Yep, I totally agree with you there. First pitch of this game was at 7:51. We are absolutely cruising through this one. A good pitching matchup started off between Randy Wynn and Jalen Miller as Miles Williams hits one down the line. That's hooking and going to go foul. It started off Randy Wynn, Jalen Miller, and Matt Rogers has continued to do good work after coming in after the third inning. Working on his third inning of work. 2 2/3 innings for Rogers so far. Wynn is through 6. Williams dribbles one right to third base, and it's going to go foul. Smart heads-up play there by Delgado to let that go. Knew he had no chance to get Williams running to first base and didn't have a play at second base either, but the trajectory of the ball was taking it towards foul territory, so he let it go, and just another strike, or a foul ball, rather, to Miles Williams.
Very smart play by Delgado at third base. Sometimes you see guys pick that up and try to get the out, but definitely wasn't going to there. And it's a tough one to judge because, you know, you can only look at one spot at once. You can't make your eyes go one looking at first base and one looking at the ground.
You kind of got to try to see the runner, see if you can pick it up and make a throw across the diamond, or if this ball's going to go foul, do I let it go? It's kind of a tough spot to be in. Williams holds up and looks at a ball outside. 2-2 now on him. Designated hitter tonight. Normally the everyday right fielder for manager Chris Newell. Wears the pants high.
How everybody should wear them, in my opinion.
Swings and misses. Rogers gets another strikeout. And Williams swings over top of that one. We'll head to the top of the 7th. Last chance for the Hoppers. 2-1 here at Jimmy John's Field. Top of the 7th and last at-bats for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Joe Fiorino, Luke Ortel, Chris Power will be the 3 scheduled hitters. Fiorino offers at a bunt and misses. Randy Wynn back to the mound, looking for the complete game. And that's going to get right past Nick Wilson at first base, or Fiorino being aggressive, but he'll hold up at first.
Just how you wanted to start this off. Fiorino, a speedy guy, number 9 hitter, getting a big hit like that. top of the lineup comes up now. And I wonder if Nochi will have Bunham over here or not.
I don't know if you want to take the bat out of one of your best hitters. I know you are only down 1 run. It looks Nick Wilson probably a little disappointed he wasn't able to come up with that ball. Made a good effort on it, but Fiorino hit it pretty hard down that first base line, and it looks like manager Chris Newell is going to come out and get the ball from his starting pitcher Randy Wynn.
Great night for Wynn.
Probably let him see if he could get that first out, but we'll bring in Derek Schneider for the lefty-on-lefty matchup here. We'll be back and let you know more about the left-handed pitcher, Derek Schneider, and let you know how Randy Wynn's day was. Chris Newell goes to his bullpen and gets the left-handed pitcher from Portage, Michigan, played collegiate ball at the Western Michigan University. And that will be Derek Schneider, 15th appearance out of the bullpen, 14 innings pitched, 9 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, all of those runs earned, 5 walks, 14 strikeouts, 2-1 record as a 192 ERA. Opposing hitters only hitting 184 off the lefty.
We were talking before we went to the break that not sure it'd be the greatest idea to bunt and take the bat out of Ortel's hands, but with a pitcher up there like Schneider,
I see the argument, especially now that Newell went to the bullpen to get his left-handed pitcher. You may see that.
Kennan's expecting it.
And Ortel shows it there, but bunts it foul.
Be very nice for the Hoppers if he could get this down. You get really speedy runner Fiorino in scoring position with Chris Power and Tyler Booth, 2 of the best hitters in the team.
Two real good opportunities to drive in that run. Fiorino could probably score on a base hit if at second base. Ortel shows but pulls back the bunt as Schneider misses outside 1-1. So Kennan is now about 10 steps onto the grass at third base. And Ortel again bunts it foul, not able to get his job done. Don't know if they're going to have him bunt with 2 strikes here. Don't know the confidence Paul Nochi has. But
It's
2 bunt attempts, not able to get either of those into fair territory. So Schneider 1-2 on the leadoff hitter Luke Ortel. And he's going to square around again, but pulls it back. Ortega thought about making a snap throw down to first base, but Fiorino not paying it, or he was paying attention.
missing on 2 bunt attempts is got to be one of the most frustrating things, because not only did you have trouble getting it done, but you look up and there's 2 strikes on you already. Wow, what a bender.
What a absolute, like you said, what a bender. Curveball starts right at the left-handed hitter Ortel, snaps back in across the middle of the plate, and he gets Ortel on strikes.
Did not go as planned for Luke Ortel and the Diamond Hoppers, but only 1 out. They've got 2 more chances, and I'm not sure there's 2 hitters I'd rather have up in these situations than Chris Power and Tyler Booth.
Absolutely right. The lefty will stay in to face the right-handed batter Power and misses just outside with a fastball there.
Probably stay in no matter what happens with Power, too, because Booth also left-handed.
You are absolutely right. A single in his first at-bat, struck out in the next as he fouls one back and dribbles down the third base line. Struck out in the 4th inning for Power and then flew out to right field in the 5th. drives a ball to center field. Sanchez has a beat on it and will make the catch. Power hits a line drive hard, but Sanchez able to track it down towards right center field gap, and we now have 2 outs. Last opportunity here is for Tyler Booth. First pitch fouled back to the screen, so Schneider ahead of Tyler Booth.
Got to be tough here for Tyler Booth. Great hitter as he is.
Got to try to put the ball in play. It is a lefty-on-lefty matchup, and we saw what the curveball did to Ortel. Fastball misses low and away. But you got to do everything you can to try to get the ball in play and live to die another day. You have Delgado behind you, then Cam Stewart, and if you're able to get to it, Michael Scholar is in the 6th hole. Pops one up, but that's going to get back out of play just over the screen down the third base line. Kennan was over there giving chase. But now it's 1-2 count on Tyler Booth.
At this point, it's tough to select where you want to hit it with 2 strikes. Just got to make some type of contact. But if he did, Dan Kennan playing way off the line at third base, almost where a shortstop would play. And he's got a lot of room just to kind of punch a ground ball over there and see what happens. Almost could get Fiorino home from first if you go down that way.
Let's see if he goes with the curveball here. 1-2, Fiorino running. Strike 3. Schneider closes the door, and the Beavers snap a 7-game losing streak. 2-1 in tonight's ball game. We'll take a quick break, and we'll come back and wrap this game up as the Beavers are victorious, snapping that 7-game losing streak. 2-1, they defeat the Hoppers. We'll be right back on the USPBL YouTube channel. Back here inside Jimmy John's Field, the Beavers defeat the Eastside Diamond Hoppers 2-1 on 2 solo home runs. DJ Martinez started off the bottom of the first inning with a solo shot, and in the 5th inning, the big hit, Kevin Worth gets a solo shot and ends up being the game-winning run. The Beavers only had 3 hits today against Hoppers pitching, but they were 2 important hits as they were both solo home runs. 3 hits, 1 run, 3 left on base for the East Side or for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. On the other side, it's going to be missed opportunities for the East Side Diamond Hoppers. They only get 1 run off the starter, Randy Wynn, but they stranded 8 hitters, 8 batters in this game. They had 9 hits, but they left the bases loaded in the 4th. They left a couple runners on in the 6th. Missing opportunities for them. Randy Wynn, player of the game in my eyes. 6+ innings pitched, scattered 9 hits, gave up the 1 earned run, 0 walks, 6 strikeouts. Was very impressive in tonight's outing.
Well, you know, like we talked about, as soon as the game started in the first inning, getting ahead in that count, getting 2 strikes on the batters, putting them in spots where they've got to spoil pitches or just put them in play rather than thinking about, you know, putting them in the gap or over the fence. And that's what Randy Wynn did. He came out throwing strikes, something he's done very well all season, and he really improved that. It was tough to improve. 78.4%, I believe you said, at the beginning of the game, his strike throwing percentage. And that had to go up tonight. He was just spectacular, pounding that zone. Fastballs and breaking balls both looking good for him. And I think you go back to the 4th inning, the top of the 4th inning, when you want to look at the key at bat in this game. Jamie McMillan was up with 2 outs and the bases loaded in what was at that point a 1-0 game. This was before Worth's home run. And he was able to foul off a few pitches, but Wynn came back and sent him home on strikes. So that's the definition of clutch pitching right there. Randy Wynn coming in and getting a big strikeout with the bases loaded, tying run on 3rd, go-ahead run on 2nd, possible insurance run at 1st. You know, all the credit to him for that performance tonight.
Absolutely. That was one. I also think that was one of the big plays, because if Jamie McMillan ends up coming up with a hit there, probably scores 2 runs at least, and then you look at a 2-1 lead, because right after that you have Kevin Worth hit the home run the next inning in bottom of the 5th, and that put the Beavers up 2-0 at that point. They were able to respond after a leadoff double from Booth, a bunt single from Delgado, and a line drive single from Cam Stewart that scored their 1 run. But Scholar, the next pitch, pinch hits for Zach Johnson and bunts a pitch back to the pitcher, Randy Wynn, who's able to throw to 3rd base and get the force out at 3rd. And then Wynn able to get Caswell to fly out to right field and Ricky Castro to ground out to the 2nd baseman. So on this night, the Beavers only get 3 hits, but they get a win, and that's something that maybe gives them a boost moving forward. They have an off day tomorrow, played 5 games this week, lost 4 of them, able to get the win in the last one. So they get a positive note moving into next week's slate of games. The Hoppers will be back tomorrow to face the Unicorns, who are one of the hotter teams, or probably one of the hottest teams out of the 3. That'll be tomorrow, but tonight the Beavers get the win to move a game and a half above the Hoppers, 22-18. The Hoppers fall to 20-19. Randy Wynn moves to 4-3 on the season. Jalen Miller takes the loss, 1-4. Derek Schneider gets his first save of the season. Fireworks are to follow, and as I mentioned, tomorrow, 2 o'clock, here on the USPBL YouTube channel, I'll be joined by relief pitcher from the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers, Houghton Buchanan. So don't miss that action for Adam Rickert. Sorry, man, it's been a quick game moving through. Adam Rickert filling in with me.
We just met today, so
yeah, exactly.
Don't get mad at James for that.
Great game, Adam Rickert. I'm James Zarnick. Beavers win 2-0 here at Jimmy John's Field. We'll see you back tomorrow at 2 p.m.